Time for one of the most charmingly titled tunes of all time, In the Bleak Midwinter. um, I'm thinking that if you're going to name a song that, you should rename it to something different. Absolutely beautiful arrangement we have today. I am standing up today because my back is being a brat, and so it's a pretty good chance I'll go flying off and fall down at some point. Um, so we're messing around with a whole new series of challenges with standing up, and so we'll see how today goes this way. Um, if you are new to us, Jolly Roger Ukulele, that's where all of the sheet music is posted. And it is a delight to wander through the website. There are so many songs on there now. Let me make sure this link is working. And I want to tweet that we are working on this today because, as you know, I have tens of followers, and we got to keep them entertained. And let's see here. Also, all right, so it looks like that took. All right, there's that working, and all right, we're playing In the Bleak Midwinter today, and then we'll talk about all these Christmas tunes that are starting to build up, and I think that's what I need to say. I'm standing up today because my back is being a brat, and so you get to see my belly. I'll put a ukulele in front of it, and that way it'll seem like I'm skinny. I've readjusted the entire table here. The thing that holds the computers up at 45-degree angle. I think it is my thought that it is possible that I'm crooked a little bit. Am I? I don't know. I'll try to lean this way maybe. Um, but we have beautiful music today, and I see lots of people already logging in here. And so let's talk about who it is. Sandy is logging in. Sandy is from northern Michigan. It is probably freezing up there. The sound is great. Let me go get the other microphone. Uh, Isn't that something? The sound is great, and the microphone was actually on the floor. That tells you a little bit about these microphones. They're pretty legit. Um, where can I put this? That's a problem. I'm probably shaking up your speakers at your house. There's what I did not think through: is where to put the darn microphone. That's what I do here is microphones. No. Tell you what, I'm going to set this over here. You guys will let me know. You guys will let me know if you can hear me. I'll try to speak with some authority, and we'll see how that goes. Sandy's in from northern Michigan. Lynn is in from New Jersey. Antonio, I forget where you're from, my man. Where is Antonio from? Let's pick a spot. Let's say Antonio is from Kalamazoo, Michigan. No, let's pick somebody we already have. We need somebody. Antonio, will you be from where have we not had somebody from? We've never had anybody from. Have we ever had anybody from Tennessee? I don't know. Where are you from, Antonio? Elizabeth, we are. My back is being bleak. Exactly. That's exactly the situation. Perfect song for my back today. Vic is in. She's in from pouring rain in the backyard, sunny in the front. It says she lives in Eugene, Oregon. It is day to day up there, so we don't know. We never know. She gives us a weather report every time we need a weather report because we don't know if it's beautiful or terrible in Eugene at any given moment. Barbara and Jack are in. They say aloha, but don't let them fool you. They're in Illinois. They're in the Hawaiian part of Illinois. Lindy is in. She was late to class earlier. I don't see this as acceptable. Be here on time. It's 1:06. I'm already late. Let's see. Evelyn is in. She's from Ecuador. Linda is in from Canada. Annie is in from next door. Renee is in. Renee is back. Yay. Renee was a local. She thought, I'm not bad. I'm going to move to Albuquerque. So she's down in I lived in Albuquerque for 8 years, and it was clearly the longest 12 years of my life. It is, in my mind, here's in my mind. Those of you from New Mexico, please know that red chili and green chili, in and of themselves, almost make all of the other horrors that go on there worthwhile. So yeah, I'm not, as I probably have said this a few times, not a huge fan of New Mexico. I did spend quite a bit of time there rescuing my wife. At the time, she was my girlfriend, and then we got married in Albuquerque and all that stuff. But we got out of there, and so I don't have a lot of fun. I have a couple of friends from New Mexico, but other than that, not my place. Taught high school down there. Whole thing. Those poor children. They're all adults now. I'm hoping that they're all. I hope most of them made it. Let's see. So glad to have you, Renee. Hope things are going well for you down there. Marianne is in from. Oh, Holly and the Ivy. I think I did it at one point. I'll double check. I think I've got that. Rita is in from Illinois. Kat's in from Texas ish. Well, Texas, Louisiana, and Arkansas all come together. She's there. Patricia is here. She's a local. Pauline's from California. Gary and Diane, they're up from Washington using the low G. Gary, we made fun of the low G ukulele players yesterday, and so they're coming in force today. Vic is in. Sound is better, hopefully, right? The microphone is actually pointed at my face. Judy is in. She's from Conifer, which is up the street here. Carol is in a little bit further up that street, playing the E minor arpeggio. The E minor arpeggio is actually kind of fun. There's the first page has two very distinct technical skills you need to know. And so it'll be fun to study that just a little bit on Friday. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Renee? Rio Rancho. Yeah, that's west of Albuquerque. She's not laying claim to Albuquerque. It's Rio Rancho. It sounds fancier. It is a little fancier. Let's see. Lanny, good to see you, bud. Jacqueline, she's here. Local. Elizabeth, red and green chili. Until you've had red chili done right in New Mexico, you don't understand what heaven is. But it doesn't quite make New Mexico worth staying in. But yeah, it's pretty close. Carol, local, stay down there. Yeah, Christmas. We get some green and some red. It's amazing. Santa Fe, that's different. We lived 1 year in Santa Fe, and I could have lived there the rest of my life. Unbelievable town. You got to have a few bucks, and we were poor then, so it didn't work out. What else we got going on here? Red's in from Wheat Ridge. She's also got her low G out. That's all I got to do. I got to say, I think this is stupid. And then all of a sudden you guys become big fans. You're not understanding. I'm the boss. You're supposed to listen to me. All right. Hey, Linda, good to see you, friend. Watch your TV video. Loved it. You were great. I'm going to post it to our ukulele group. Oh, thank you. Again, our orchestra here nominated me for a local award with the television station, and somehow they picked me, and so it was very exciting to get to be a part of that. Arlo is in. Arlo is one of our Arlo has been playing longer than most of us added together. Arlo really knows his music, and so glad he's here. Linda is in from Maui. I was spent a couple of days in Maui, and I think that there's no reason to live anywhere else. I don't know why I haven't moved there yet. I would live in a cardboard box there. It is absolutely one of the great places of all time. Jack, low G is the best if you don't have a baritone. Low G is pretty good. I just like to. Those of you guys that are if you're not in Denver, let me tell you, there's two jokes that work every time. One, Yoko Ono wrote Imagine. Okay, that gets them every time. It's hilarious to watch people just and banjoleles are no good. That joke works every single time as well. So you just find somebody who likes a banjolele and tell them it's no good, and then just yeah. That's my two jokes. That's it. I have two funny things that I say, and that gets them. Oh yeah, thanks, Renee. It was very kind of those guys to not recognize me. Doesn't matter. You're here to learn how to play, right? That's not learn how to play. You already know how to play. You wouldn't be here if you didn't know how to play. Our job is to get you ready for the most brilliant Christmas season of music ever. I do still think, and I might have a tiny bit of ego invested in this, but I don't think you can find this quality of sheet music Colin in Ireland writes some really very fine pieces of sheet music and arrangements. But outside of him, I'm not positive you're going to find much of this stuff. Not certainly not in the quantity that you find it here. So just keep coming around, right? I intend to do this. This is one of the things I get great joy out of is writing sheet music, doing arrangements, finding the best way to make it sound on this instrument, and I'm going to keep doing it for a while. So please just make this part of what you do. And if you haven't become a member, I'm putting all the stuff that's not really public domain stuff I need to keep a little bit closer lid on because I don't want to get the Disney attorneys suing me. I keep that behind the members wall, and so the membership is pretty cheap, and so I'd encourage you to do that if you feel like you can. There's tons of good sheet music back behind there now. All of the non-public domain stuff that we work on it here during the week ends up behind there for long-term storage, and so you can go and look at every single thing we've done since March, and there's some pretty decent stuff behind there. So feel free to check that out. And it's not exactly free, but it's as close as I can make it to free. Without, I don't know, it's almost as close as you could get to free. It's about 25 cents a day to be a member around here. Now, let me tell you a couple of other things. My back has been I've never really had much of the problems in the way of back, and it showed up yesterday. I was like, oh, this isn't cool. And I think it's just because I've been playing so much online here and doing arrangements and stuff, and so my back has been not bad, but it's just enough annoying where I'm standing up today so that you get to see a tiny bit more of the Art Deco lady, and you get to see this giant empty space here that I don't know what to do with, and you get to see my belly. So I'm going to stand up and play today. I'm hoping that helps my back a little bit, and maybe I'll do it for all of the time. And so I will try to make sure you can still see what's going on with my fingers. Most of you guys are pretty good players at this point and don't really need to see my fingers. What you really need to do is be grabbing up in the Bleak Midwinter. And we're going to go through that. And that's really all I'm going to do today. You guys should make sure to download all of the Christmas music in your section, the 1 o'clock section. I went ahead and started a list of all of the sheet music that I've published so far, with the exception of the stuff in the member area. All of the public domain songs are there. So whether we study them or not in this hour, you should study them at home, and you should put them in your book. Honestly, by the time we get to Christmas, guys, you're going to have a Christmas book that is not purchasable anywhere in the world. It is going to be a fine piece of something you want to hang on to for next year and the year after, right? And at some point, you're going to be like, yeah, Gary's a goon. I'm going to start writing my own music. And you're going to start by copying my music. So make sure you download all that stuff. And then tomorrow we will be working on Oh Holy Night, which turned out to be an actually lovely arrangement. And so and then of course Friday we have lots and lots of music to play through. I'll keep you busy. Okay. So let's pull up in the Bleak Midwinter, and let's see how it goes. I'm hoping that I downloaded it already. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I downloaded everything for the week into my gadget here. A few of you were asking about the gadget. It's a books, and I don't recommend it. So how about that? If I ever do this again, it will definitely be an iPad. This thing just doesn't have enough power to do what we need it to do. In the Bleak Midwinter, what do I know about it? 1906 from an 1872 poem. And my thought is generally, if you decide to write music, using the phrase "in the bleak midwinter" may not be the best way to go. I think something like, remember Pharrell wrote the song "Happy"? That may be a better way to go. But in any event, this is a beautiful tune, right? I made my own cold brew. It's not that good. So I got to go to Starbucks and find out. I forgot what kind of beans we used over there. So I got to, you make it so you feel like you got to drink it. So that's what I'm drinking. Who else wandered in? Kat, I'm standing up in solidarity with you. I will be honest with you. You really should be practicing standing up. I mean, you really should. Okay. If you ever do a performance, there you're going to be at a microphone and you're going to be playing like this, right? That's what you're going to be doing. And so again, another reason to have a strap. I don't have a strap on this guy, but I will tell you that standing up with a strap on to play your music is probably long term going to be good for you, right? Also, we live in a society where we sit down all of the time, and that they do studies that people get heart issues because of that. So probably standing up as well. And so thank you, Kat. Kat is standing up in solidarity with me. Okay, Linda, your word on the. Oh, I can put the hero award thing there. No, I might put some like a picture of music or something there. All right, let's give this a try. Let's go through it in all of the different ways that I like to go through. You guys have figured out at this point that for me, sheet music is a recipe. It is not a rule book. And so we want to go through, look at all the different ways, and then you ultimately get to decide the best way for you to play this. There's 4 verses. That's 3 verses too many, but that's how many it has. Let's talk about chords first. So your first chord is an F chord. That's you're not here unless you already know that. Okay, A minor, straight up from there. D minor, remember with D minor, it's just an F chord with your ring finger added on, okay? And then a less common chord, G minor. This comes up a lot, guys, in minor. It's a perfect chord. It's a perfect key for ukulele, almost. It's really, really a beautiful, if you listen to that, that is a beautiful chord, right? And the inversion is very nice. Even on low G, you got an open G for high G. Sounds beautiful. On the low G one, it sounds a little darker. Boom, and it sounds really beautiful. You got a C chord and a C7. You'll see that quite often in a lot of music where you'll go from a C, the fifth. The fifth is a regular major chord into the fifth as a 7th chord. Sounds pretty nice because we're working in the key of F on this one. Measure 7, you'll be delighted to find you have your B flat in there. Again, I recommend you use a full bar, but you will often see me using a half bar on that. Practice with both. I recommend you learn to play it with a full bar. Because you've got a lot of other bar chords that you have to learn, and getting to know them where all of the bar chords are just a full bar and you just put it on and off you go and everybody's happy. But when you can get away with a half bar on B flat, C7 and F again, and then moving into measures 9, you got a ton of B flats show up, and that's it, right? So that's all of your chords. I'm not going to sing this one. That would not go well. Let's play the melody from the top. 1s, 3s, 2s. I always kind of peek through in advance. I'm like, okay, 1s, 3s, and 2s. That's first position. 1, 3s. Oh, there's some 5s that show up in 10. Well, I can reach down to grab those 5s. That's it. That's it. Okay, so clearly a first position song. For those of you who are newer, this is a great opportunity to play a pretty well-known song right off the bat. And if you are newer, play the melody. Don't worry about tough uke and painful uke and all that nonsense. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 3. 2, 3, 4. Page 2. Two, 3, 4. Okay. Very pleasant. Very pleasant. Yeah, just nice, right? Again, if you play that on low G, where this string's going to be helping you out, will sound really nice. Baritone players, if you can get your head around being in the wrong key, you can just play that straight melody line, and you'll end up with something real nice too. All right, now let's go into the tough uke. I want to walk through everything, and then we will talk. I did give you a painful uke on this one. Okay, so we've got an F chord. And you're going to roll down to the 1. And then A minor with a 3, pull your 3 off. Okay, make the full D minor here. We have this tendency to be 2 2 3 and do a weird thing here. Don't do that. Do a full D minor and then add your pinky. That's how you want to play that. Okay, that's 2 2 3. Use your pinky there. The reason is when you pull your pinky up, then you're ready for the next chord. Okay, then do a real G minor, open, partial, hit the 2, and then 0 0 3. Okay, guys, this is a C chord and this is a C chord. They're both C chords. Don't lose your mind when I say play a C chord and you only play 0 0 3, and then this chord up there's a 0 0 0 3, and you're like, what? They're both C chords. Okay, and then you got to C7. You can feel that pick up into the restarting the same idea. Let's play for a little while. Okay, now things change. Now you've got a B flat, okay, and you've got to get your 3 onto here. This is one of those places where I have a tendency to cheat. You can just put a your G7 shape, you know, this one, G7 shape, move it up to the wrong strings and slide it forward. Okay, and then you're going to get a B flat with the 3 on there. Ideally, you'd have a full bar on here, your A shape in front, and then somehow squish your pinky in underneath there. That's what's really going on there. But I have a tendency just to put that G7 shape up 2nd fret, and then these 2 on 3. A little cleaner. And then last chord in measure 7 is a 0 0 3. Hit the 1, and then a nice F, and then some arpeggio pattern to just fill up the space. Now we do a real B flat on measure 9. Lift it up to get to 0. I usually just roll my bar up like that to open up that first string. Grab the 3. Now you have the high B flat. We've been through this one a bunch of times over the last few months. Bar on 5, F shape in front. That's also a B flat. And then jump down to your regular D minor. Okay, F chord with the C on the 3 on the top. That same weird B flat thing. Couple zeros. Okay, I put in that one on purpose to give you the tension to go into the final part of the song. Go to the F chord. And the weird B flat thing. And then you go back and play the thing. Supposed to play it 4 times. We will never play it 4 times. That's too many times. But when the last time you come around, remember you go done. And then a big bar on 5 and 8 for that finish up. Okay, and that's an F. See a typo on here on measure 17. I ended up putting the full F chord on there. You see on the tough uke and the painful uke, don't play that top 0. That's gonna mess the melody up a little bit. Won't be the end of the world, but don't do that. All right, so now let's play through it twice. Okay, first time and second time, and then we're going to talk about the way you can make your life either wonderful or miserable. Okay, from the top, 2 times through. 1, if you're new, play the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. the top. Second ending. Okay, isn't that pretty nice little song? I had never heard it before until I think if I remember right, it shows up in James Hill's one of his books, and I don't. I think that's where I ran into it, and then several of you guys have asked me for it since then. It's a little sad, a little optimistic. I don't know. It's got a kind of a nice motion to it and all that. Now, I've been doing once in a while, I've been taking these songs that are really beautiful and kind of slow and giving you an example of what actual finger style would look like and give you a chance to practice some of that. This is not for everybody. Okay. This is, if you're understanding tough uke, it's coming along pretty smoothly for you. And it's like, yep, that I absolutely do that all the time now. Makes sense. It's going along pretty well for me, but I'd like to amp it up to the top level. The top level, really tough uke is the top level, right? But we can make it fancier by then adding in arpeggio patterns in addition to the actual chord melody arrangement. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. On this one, it actually sounds what I think pretty nice. Gets a little bit busy. James Taylor does a version of this. Okay, maybe that's what I've heard about. I don't know. I'm not a huge James Taylor guy. My wife is. And I think everybody is on some level a James Taylor person at some point, right? At some point, you just give up and you're like, yeah, James Taylor is right. The thing with fingerstyle is you're going to be thinking about something, a note of some sort in every single eighth note. Okay. And so as you look through that, you're like, oh, geez, that's a whole lot of notes. It feels like a whole lot of notes until you realize you're just holding the chord and plucking any strings that you can get your hands on that are a part of the main chord. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can do that too. You'll see that not so much in professional players, because typically professional players have a band around them and they're doing a lot of this other stuff, but you'll see it a lot if you go onto YouTube and you say, oh, I like this song, and you go look it up, and the first guy that comes up is a guitar player. Very often these days they're doing fingerstyle arrangements of that, and it's basically where they're using the classical skill of using your claw, but then just adding in lots of arpeggio notes in anywhere they could fit them in. And for some songs it works, and some songs it sounds ridiculous, but this one we'll give it a try and see what you guys think. Okay. Sissel also does an English. Oh, I don't know who Sissel is. I'll have to go look. All right. So we want to go slower than when you first attack a painful uke, which is just call it a finger style. Okay. Nice and slow. Same. Everything's the same, except we're going to be doing some doodly doos as we have a chance. Quite a bit slower though, guys. 1, 2, ready. Oh, that's another balk. I apologize. You got to play it with your claw. It's not going to work with your thumb. It won't work with your thumb. You got to do a claw. If you're not up for that, that's perfectly fine. Play the tough uke or play the melody. Okay. 1, 2 times through with your claw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I think I skipped a measure. Measure 6. From measure 6, please. 1. Did I? I don't think it. Maybe I did. Let's go for measure 5. Sorry, I think I had a brain hemorrhage. Measure 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to the top of the page. Oh, and then page 2, sorry. Second ending. Okay, so that's what we're working on. Oh, hey, Jennifer, glad to see you in. The key, of course, is to not lose the melody inside of all of those pluckety plucks, right? And so what I try to do as I'm doing that is I know I have all this work to do, right? I know I got to keep my fingers moving. I know I got to, and I know as long as I'm holding the chord, I know how Gary arranges stuff, and I know there's no chance, if he can help it, of adding or taking off fingers while we're in the middle of all this. And so I'm really looking for, okay, I think a melody note is coming up. Bum, 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 and try to give a little bit more emphasis to those melody notes that I can hear them coming, I can feel them coming. When I get to that, I'm not entirely sure what thing I'm plucking at that point, but I'm going to pluck whatever it is a tiny bit louder, a little bit more aggressively, and so that you can get so that the melody still rises up above all that other nonsense that's going on. What I think you'll find over time is if you can grab my Tough Uke and it's a slow enough song, just by whatever the last chord is. So if you look at measure 1 and it's an F chord, now I've got room to do something in there. I can put anything in there as long as I'm holding the chord and it'll sound fine. To wit, watch this. Right? it and doing the opposite of what's written down, it still sounds fine, still sounds kind of cool. And so you grab your tough uke and you just, as long as you don't change anything on your left hand, you can add in these arpeggio notes, which we work on separately on those etudes. And suddenly, by understanding arpeggios and understanding how chord melody works, you can combine those together on your own. You don't necessarily need me to write it out for you. I like to write it out. Sometimes I like to write it out because it's kind of fun. But you don't really need that. You really just need to have faith that as long as you're holding the chord and you're going to pluck something on every eighth note, that it's going to work. And it's a miraculously cool thing. That's why these days when I go around and I got to look up this song or that song, I'm like, oh, there's so-and-so on guitar playing. I'm like, I'll bet you anything. And he goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, with 80 million little of these. And then every once in a while, he's going to be knocking on it with his thumb. And sure enough, every single time these days, gets to be a little bit overdone. So you don't want to do everything this way, but once in a while you get a song that's slow and beautiful and the melody's going to hold its own. Then you can put that in there and it just makes you feel good, makes you sound good, keeps your brain fully engaged in the sheet music. You saw the first time through, I was like so busy focused in on what I was doing that I don't even know where I went. And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I think I missed a measure. No, you didn't miss your measure. You were right in it. So we'll play it one more time before I'll get you guys out of here. And again, if you're not ready for that, that's perfectly fine. That's it. There's nothing. I don't know what else to tell you. We'll get weirder songs and weirder chords, but it's always going to be the same exact toolbox. That if you're playing at that level, you're ready. You're ready. Okay, Jake Shimabukuro, just kick him off the stage. He can open for you, and your job will be to come and present stuff like that. If you went to any ukulele festival on the planet and said, hey, I'd like to teach them how to play in the Bleak Midwinter finger style, they'd be like, yeah, sure, we'd like to know how to do that. And then you sit down and teach them that, right? So you are now officially, you have officially made it. If you're not there yet, which is fine, right? All of my arrangements on the tough uke will always work with your thumb. They will always work. It's not necessarily ideal. I'm a way over thumber, but so is Wes Montgomery, and he did okay on guitar. He played everything just with his thumb, and so I'm not in bad company on that. And then obviously, if you're newer, don't try to be doing that stuff quite yet. Mess around with it a little bit, but what you're really focusing in on is making sure you know your chords and making sure you know your melody, how to play melody, because if you can play melody, you can play tough uke, but we just got to give you a little tiny bit more work before you're fully up to speed on that. All right, let's see. Evelyn's down with the painful uke. She's up for it. Fran is okay with it. Lindy is, yeah, right. It's the best. Pauline, it's really fun. Challenging. Okay, take it slow, right? I was trying to keep the speed down a little bit. I noticed I was as I always do, is sort of picking it up a little bit as we go along. Measure 10. Can you show the bar chord for the B flat? And yeah, so let's look at measure 10. Jennifer's saying, hey, what's the story about measure 10? So measure 10, remember we have two B flats, okay? This is the one that you came to hate when you were first starting playing ukulele. I tell you, use a full bar because it's going to be good for you. And you play it like this, right? And I say, that's fine. That's what you play it like right now. And then one day it shows up, okay? The other B flat, you slide up to 5 and drop your middle finger. And so that's your B flat there. And so it turns out as fingerstyle players or as melodic players or tough uke players or chord melody players or whatever we want to call you, when the melody starts creeping up the fretboard, which you often will, you've got to start finding the same chords that you wanted to use down here up here. And so it comes up from time to time in my arrangements. Well, why don't you just put that B flat chord up there so we could just see the picture of it? And the reason I don't, there's two reasons. One, by the time you're playing tough uke, I want you to be able to think that stuff through anyway. Like you're like, okay, the melody's on 5, pretty low chance of me being able to hold my B flat and reach my pinky there, right? It's possible, okay, but it's not easy. Whereas I've got this B flat right here, and that's much easier to play. So as the melody starts to get more complex and starts making its way up the fretboard, your shapes are going to change. That's why you should download in your phone a ukulele chord finder. The modern ones now are so much better than that old piece of paper we used to have, where you can look up chords further down the neck for what you need. I fortunately am at a point in my career where I basically have them all memorized all the way down to to the bottom, and it just takes time. But when you find out here's a C and here's a C and here's a C and here's a C, you're like, oh, there's lots of C's, right? This is the B flat we're going to use a lot. Bar on 5, F shape in front. That's what's going on there. And the other reason I don't put the other reason I don't put them on there, one, I'm kind of expecting you to start to get your head around it anyway. But two, you're not always going to play this way, right? It turns out that when you are an instrumental ukulele player, you're kind of lonely. I'm not here in Denver because we got lots of them. We built them. We went out. We got normal people, and we stuffed instrumental ukulele into them. But in most of the cases, in most of the cities that you're in, and most of the towns you are, you probably these days, if you're in a reasonably sized city, probably have a ukulele group, right? And they're going to be singing and strumming just like we have here in Denver, just like I started at down here, Denver Ukulele Community, run by Doug, one of the great ukulele players in the entire world. For his spirit. And I actually haven't seen him play in a long time. I don't know if he's playing any differently than he always has, but he was always a pretty good player anyway. And but it's not, we don't care about his play. We care about the fact he wears a Dr. Seuss hat and he's just like, everything's awesome and he's a super positive guy. That's what we love Doug for. And he's been running our strumming group for here in Denver since I quit, I don't know if you don't really ever quit since I stopped going, which was 15 years ago or something. And so, what am I trying to say? Sometimes you want to play like that, right? And then you just want the simple, easy, straightforward chords, and that's how we play that, right? So if I am getting together with normal ukulele players in the bleak midwinter, frosty wind made moan. Right? That's how you're going to say it. That's why I put the regular ones on there, the regular chords on there. My thought is if you have the regular chords and the lyrics, maybe at some point, and real sheet music staring at you, maybe at some point you'd be like, I wonder what all those little weird wiggles are all over this piece of paper, and maybe you'd be interested in learning a little bit more. What I have found, however, is the opposite of that. If people see this, they're like, I want nothing to do with it. I don't want to know any of that. That makes me sad. And so typically most ukulele players aren't going to put the work in to do this kind of stuff. And so I want, for those of you who like to sing, you got the easier chords there, which is what you use. The more advanced chords and the tough, you take a little bit of thought process. And at this point, you're probably pretty good at it. So, all right. So that was a long talk about how do you make that bar in 10. Let me think. Linda says, love the pain. Oh, you guys, don't say that outside of this YouTube channel. You won't be able to run for office after that. Fran, what finger do you use in the second half of measure 10? Oh, so second half of measure 10. So I've got my B here, right? First part in this chord, and then I got 5 and 5 and 5. So those are already there. I put those there, right? And then I'm going to just race down, put on a regular D minor. It all works, okay? And then the only thing that I have to change at measure 11, I've got my C chord with my pinky on it, right? The melody requires me to pick up my pinky, and then you go into that B flat. Melody requires you to grab that 1 at the second half of 11. Oh, I see. Measure 11. You're talking about, I was talking measure 11. That's what you meant, Fran. I was like, all of a sudden, now I know what she's talking about. Bar chord. So let's go from 10. Grab your bar on 5. 5, 5, 5. D minor. Measure 11 is an F chord with your pinky. I got to lift up my pinky. Now, I'm still going to grab this B flat with my G7 shape. And both times I played this, I noticed what I did is I'm like, oh, I got to get that 1. I just pulled out. and then grab the 1 and then put my 2 back on, and then boom. So I find I tend to do that on weird fingerings. Is I'm like, okay, shoot, I've got myself in a pickle here. I'm just gonna pull the chord off, go get the melody note that I need to get to, and then see if I can get the chord back together. You could theoretically play this, right? Use these fingers, and then you've got your index finger available to get to that 1. But that seems like an awful lot of work to me. So I'm doing the same fingering in all of the B flats on here. But in that case, I'm going to pull my ring finger off and the 1 off, which basically means I'm losing the chord. You're not really going to miss it. It sounds fine. Okay, so that's what you're talking about, Fran. All right, Jennifer, painful uke. Yeah, Lynn's into the painful uke. All right, nice. So that's it for today. Make sure you know who you are. If you're a singer, you just need the chords. If you're not a singer, but do them smart, right? Don't just blah, 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 blah. That's the dumb way to do it. Okay, you can do better than that. That's what we do this for. Second, if you're newer, play the melody. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what I want you to get good at. I want you to be able to play melody in your sleep upside down, right? Then you move to tough uke, start adding in chords underneath that melody, and then ultimately putting it together with an arpeggio pattern, which is what the painful uke is. You'll notice all of the painful uke stuff in every song we've ever done. Ode to Joy, Frere Jacques, Can't Help Falling in Love. It all looks the same, right? Because there's just a whole bunch of extra notes. And it's just the chord being in there decorative, and it's really a lot of fun. And you could take any one of the tough uke pieces that I've given you. You got what, over 100 pieces now, almost 200 pieces from the website, and just sit down and see if you could create a painful uke out of those, right? I don't do them often because we don't need to, but yeah, that's it. So there we go. That's it for today. This is me standing up. I think I kind of like it. I think it might be good for me. So maybe I'll start teaching standing up, which means I got to go get a ukulele with a strap on it. And hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Try to do a random act of kindness for somebody. Try to be safe. God, it's so scary out there. Stay home, guys. Seriously, just and tell your family you'll see them next Thanksgiving. Practice a little bit, not too much. It turns you into it turns you in, I don't know, get too good that way. And you'll pass me up. I don't want you to pass me up. You can pass me up. It's fine. And keep showing up. That's the key, right? This is where you're gonna need to be to make yourself a good player. Subscribe and like if you haven't done that. And YouTube cooperated on this class. It hasn't not been particularly happy with me today. And so we got through this one. So have a wonderful day. I will see all of you tomorrow. It looks like you guys are all sneaking out already. Where did we get? Jennifer. Lyrics of this song are beautiful. I haven't even reread them. I put this together a few months back or a year ago or some time ago. I didn't even reread them. So yeah, let's go read the lyrics, see how they are. It's beautiful, right? Hopefully. Beautiful song. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Pauline. I'm even nothing if not surprising. Vic, good to see you. Renee, good. I'm so glad to see you again, Renee. Welcome back. Yeah, we're really delighted you're here. Took you too long, but it's the land of mañana. You get there. Jacqueline, good to see you. Lynn, thanks for everything. I gotta go figure out what the story is with your account. Evelyn, I'll see you tomorrow. Antonio, good to see you, bud. Yeah, did you ever tell me where you're from? We're gonna assume you're from Tennessee until you tell us otherwise. Jack, hasta mañana. Jennifer, thanks. Oh, you're Jennifer. Thanks for being here. Sandy, talk to J.W. Pepper, by the way, Jennifer, just so you know. Sandy, good to see you. Elizabeth, I'll see you tomorrow. Yep, absolutely. Annie, tomorrow. Kat, our whole day. We made it. Kat, thanks for standing up in solidarity with me. I feel like we are on the same team when you do that. Lanny, good to see you, boss. I'll see you tomorrow. Patty, good to see you. Linda, I thought this was going to be the Sarah McLaughlin song. I don't know the Sarah McLaughlin. Does she do this one? Well, we do it too. I don't know. Move over, Sarah. We will do it. Costa Rica. How exciting. Good to see you, Antonio. Delightful. That's very exciting. I don't think we've had anybody from Costa Rica before. So glad you're here. That's way better than Tennessee, I think. I don't know. I've never been to either place. All right. I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day, and I will we'll keep. You guys already have all your music, so I'll see you tomorrow.